Fuck me, and it's like that. Welcome back. We finna get into David Banner's new interview with Cam Newton. Now, a lot of bitch ass niggas was talking to because they was saying that I was basically speaking on some stuff that I didn't know. But it's funny because I already said all of this on like my last look. I'm gonna put the link in there, but I'm gonna also leave it at the end of this video. When I was speaking on Lyndon B. Johnson and the whole civil rights movement being a joke and it not really helping black people like black people think, or the situations where we getting this upper hand, quote unquote, but it's really not an upper hand. It's really just holding us back. Um, the main issue was Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was like a puppet for these white folks. People want to keep playing that game, but in real time, he was really just keeping us at bay. Like he was keeping us from rioting, keeping us from really starting shit. People kept talking shit about as far as like how he even got involved. But like I said, Martin Luther King got involved in the whole situation because two people died in a garbage truck. Now, if that wouldn't have happened, Martin Luther King probably would have never got involved in the civil rights movement because he wasn't really on shit in the civil rights movement. It was Medgar Evers' situation at first, and he was the first Martin Luther King. And we got into him also, but we're gonna get into him again eventually. I keep saying this shit, but we finna see what my nigga David Banner had to say. But this is why I said what I said. People keep talking that shit, but it's in Malcolm X's book. Malcolm X speak on how he went to parties and political things like that, events and shit, as to where these same people will be speaking on white people like this, that, and the third, and how they congregating with them and how they treat it equally, but then they'll say the same things that he's saying about them behind closed doors. So that was one of the main issues he used to have. He never had no problems with other black leaders or nothing like that. He just felt like they should have just been 100 on what was always going on.
If you go back and look at Martin Luther King, and it's online, the speech that he was going to do at his church, that the week that he died, you would have thought that was Malcolm X. Martin Luther King was sick of getting his ass beat on. He wanted to be about finances. He was talking about some of the things that were going on in the war that nobody dared to speak about. That was the reason why they killed that man. But the version of Martin Luther King that black people love, I don't think Martin Luther King liked him when he died. If they could separate themselves, he wouldn't like that dude.
Well, how that's heavy.
But it's the truth.
But how
He told Harry Belafonte, I think I have integrated my people into a burning house. That's basically telling Harry Belafonte everything that I built my life on is a lie. He said that. David Banner didn't say that. And I think if you ask his kids, they would tell you that. It's just harsh to realize that we've been duped, bro. That's the hardest thing when it comes to food, history, bro. If it ain't mathematics or science, in most cases, these people done lied to us. And that's hard to admit that we went down the wrong road, bro.
So I'm trying to separate because I'm trying to follow, and specifically to Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. The version that is in front of us, the propaganda that we see in schools and in Black History Month and the I Have a Dream and the monuments and how great Martin Luther King was and what he stood for. You're saying that it's a lie?
What I am saying is, boy, here go all them endorsements, Regina. Regina said, No, bro, like, integration was the worst thing that ever happened to black people. Being enslaved is just losing a war. Like, once we integrated,
I can't stand this bitch ass nigga. I hate when niggas do this during their shit. I would never do this during my shit. Even I would just, if I get motherfucking if I get endorsements, I'm just gonna hang their banner up, bro. I'm not finna do this weak ass commercial shit. Look, anyway, like I was gonna say, my main thing is this. I want to point out the fact that what he's saying is 100% correct. He did say that to Harry Belafonte, and Harry Belafonte was actually one of those actors slash singers who was actually involved in the civil rights movement also at the time. But these niggas was also living foul also because you had Eartha Kitt back then who was also a part of the movement, and she said that Harry Belafonte and a lot of them didn't even date black women at the time. Another thing I want to point out is the fact that, like he said, which is what I said already, he was a puppet pretty much. Like he just doing what the fuck they want him to do. It helped to push what they wanted them to push. You feel me? It got rid of a lot of black businesses. It got rid of a lot of black situations that we had when we was relying on our own damn selves. We had our own restaurants. We had our own mechanics. We had our own barbers and all that. Like, these things actually matter. These little corner stores, they actually matter. All these little things that we don't have no more, these diners and all that, that shit mattered. But when we started just, oh, we can get into Denny's now, let's go to Denny's, that's when shit backfired on us. So now our ownership don't mean the same because we treated white people shit higher than we treated our own. You see what I'm saying? I remember watching a movie where this girl was gonna drink out the white fountain, and then she had to learn by the end of the movie that the fountains is connected to the same fucking sewer pipeline. Like, that's the part that nobody wants to really acknowledge. And I keep saying this. We have been duped to believe one thing, but it's a whole nother ball game when you actually do real research and you actually look into a lot of the stuff that actually happened at the time. Older people don't do the research because they feel like they lived the time frame, but just because you lived the time frame don't mean you saw everything that happened. You didn't see everything that happened. We didn't see Michael Jackson prepare for Motown 25, nigga. He just got ready for it and did what he did, and then we saw what magic he made. All that other shit, when people, yo, this didn't happen, that did, I don't remember. Of course you're not gonna remember. There's certain things you might not remember seeing because it might not have been publicized as highly back then. It's easier to find a lot of information now because of the computers and all this other shit. A lot of people have put out biographies around this time also. So you have to really go and research what's really went down and going on during the fucking civil rights movement, because ain't nothing come of anything good with us in the civil rights movement. I don't give a fuck about none of this Voters' Right Act, because at the end of the day, it's all racism. We just don't look at it like that because it's on our side.
Like, once we integrated, we thwarted the opportunity to teach our own children. We don't have no options on what we teach black kids in public schools. Think about this, y'all. In a lot of public schools, in a lot of colleges, they tell black men that they can't wear locks. Your natural hair. Dog, do you see that they say they can do anything to meet that they want to, put anything they want to without telling you the truth about it? Think about right now in America, what black people have influence over what happens to their children in general. What they feed them, what they see on TV, what they hear on the radio, any of those things. So by integrating, by even saying that you want civil rights, take the word, the operative part of the word is civil, right? You're saying that I just want you to treat me civilly, right? And anything that you do in life, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make 100, right? Even if you're great. So if you fall short of civil, that means they treat a dog better than they treat you. I don't want civil rights. I want you to treat me like the God that I am. And so what I'm saying is that they take pieces of a person. Like, they couldn't stop Malcolm X, so what they made him was an X on a hat. The same thing that they did to Jesus in Christmas. They took Christ out of Christmas and put an X. These are the mind games that we don't see. And to be honest with you, as our friendship grows, these are the types of things that keep me up at night, Cam, because I see it. And it's so clear.
So you would have wanted segregation to stay segregated?
Well, I would have wanted black people to build their own shit. I would have wanted black people to praise their own God.
Okay.
I would want black people to teach their own kids. I'm not saying that we can't be together, but would you respect somebody who you allowed to stay in your house, whether you forced them to stay there or not? And what, they've been staying there for 50, 60, 70, 80 years, 100 years? It's time for us to get our own. If we have our own, then we don't have to beg for anything. Like,
or the ability to create your own. Because I think that's a lot of suppression too, that's not being mentioned, especially going back to slavery. Mm-hmm. It's not to say that we couldn't have our own. We didn't have the rights to have our own. You feel what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is that,
bitch, that's a lie, because it was a few people that was black that became millionaires and that owned land around these time frames, and it was before the fucking civil rights movements. If I'm not mistaken, it was one couple that got their land taken from them in California. They owned like a whole beach and shit. When black people couldn't even go to the beach, they owned all of this. So then you got another person who pretty much, he had the money to just fucking sell his family. Like it's black people in history that became billionaires and millionaires before we even knew about these things. We just weren't told these things. We get told the opposite. We get told that we was all slaves. You got people who was basically crafting horseshoes and all of that that made money. Blacksmiths and all that made money. Pastors, this and the third. People play violins, all type of stuff. These things got them somewhere at some point. Fuck, come on, man. Madam C.J. Walker made a buck before anything, bro. Like, come on now. Let's get real, bro.
Even within that, man, like, I give you a great example. I told you, bro, if I had any power in the spaces that I wanted, it's coming. But like, bro, I would make you the black Superman, bro. Like, period, dog. I don't want there to ever be a period where our children don't think that they're gods or that they're superheroes. Like, think about this. This is going to mess y'all head up. A real superhero is a representation of a god. Wonder Woman is a god. Superman is a god. I love Black Panther. I don't want to be no cat. I want to be a fucking god. And what they telling us that we can't be gods when when the word hero comes from Heru, a black man. So the word comes from a black man and you can't be a real hero. And then watch this. It's going to fuck y'all head up. Where does Superman get his power from? Come on, y'all in here.
Krypton.
From the sun. White people are allergic to.
Come on now, this nigga's stupid, bro. He said fucking Krypton. Everybody knows Superman get his shit from the sun. And that's my point, bro. That's my fucking point, bro. A lot of the things that we get based on, a lot of things that get based on us, we don't really realize that it's based on us. The X-Men is based on us. A lot of stuff is based on us. Or even what he's saying. We're not allowed to be big branded superheroes. We are not. They do not allow us to be big branded superheroes. But we still support their superheroes. We don't support ours. And they will take ours away when we get them. You see, we had Static Shock for a short amount of time as kids. They took that away because it wasn't selling enough toys. But it's like they didn't put enough push behind Static Shock. Batman and Superman can go off TV for years and get rebranded, get repushed, get reproduced, and all of that. But we have fucking Black Panther, and they canceled it because one person died. Now, when the original Superman was playing as original Superman, he ended up dying. He ended up, I'm not even gonna say die. He ended up being paralyzed. Then he eventually passed, and they was doing Smallville, and he was visiting Smallville. He ended up on Smallville. They kept Superman's character going. They kept Batman's character going. I hate that, like, we don't pay attention to these things, and we don't try to shoot out for these things. We go out and we support these movies, but it's only for a hot second that we get them. We support these cartoons, but it's only for a hot second that we get them, and we never speak on that. We speak on more about these faggot ass niggas in the LGBTQ PT community, about them not having representation in cartoons and all this other shit, comic books. We don't speak on our own, but we're gonna get back to this.
To what? The sun. There's no way Superman could be white. A white scientist said that it's not possible. They run from the sun. Superman is supposed to be darker than the darkest night ever. These are the things that I notice, and it be fucking my head up, dog. I can't sleep. And I be like, don't nobody else see it? And then when I say it, Negroes say that I'm crazy. When I said something about that, I can't say it because last time I said it, they threw me off TV. Like, and look at what they're saying about what happened to people after they took that. Blood clots. They can't have children. They die. I missed the movie because of that. But they acted like I was crazy when I said something about it. Bro, I'll just tell you this. From this point in my life, and this is going to surprise you, I really want to be around good human beings. Everything that I do in my life will always be for black people. But I realize that it is important for me to do for me, and those who see it can come along. Those who don't have to suffer. And they will suffer until they see if my way is the right way, it's the way to go. But Cam, it's the best time in history. Why everybody's scared, and why so many wild things is happening in the world. If we had our shit together, it wouldn't take but a couple of us to put our money together, bro. We can go buy and do anything. We can go buy up Ghana. We can go any of these places, buy land here. We can go back to Mississippi.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Point blank period. No sugar code, no nothing. Are you a racist?
That's a foul ass way to end that, but okay. One thing I want to say is this about what he was saying. I don't say that we gods. I say that we are part of God. We all children of God. We're all pieces of God. Okay. I never say because I don't get why niggas say that, but I understand where they coming from. But at the end of the day, we not gods, bro. But we are a part of God. We children of God, and the main thing is that we need to act and carry ourselves accordingly. The issue with what's going on in society today is that you have so many black males who don't know who they are. You have so many black women that don't know who they are. And the biggest issue with not knowing who you are, it leaves you misguided in this world. And that's one of the issues that we all have right now. Like putting money over each other, putting money over relationships, putting this, that, and the third over loyalty. Like it's too much cowardice attitude and feminine mindset running around. As far as like where they wanted us to be, this is exactly where they wanted us to be. Unkept, unknowledgeable. Like we don't know nothing. We don't even know our own personal family history. Like grandma ain't sharing that no more. Granddaddy ain't sharing that no more. At halftime, granddaddy dead it, or he's just non-existent because this is the time frame we in right now. When back in the day, pre all of this shit happening, we had our fathers in the household, we had our mothers in the household. Nobody was on drugs. Like people was on drugs and heroin and stuff like that, but it wasn't like how it is. Like especially right now, you got these young niggas really popping like pills and becoming addicted to medical drugs. Um, Another thing that I want to touch, like because he's touching a lot of black shit. So I really want to touch on what he's saying as far as the black community. We got to open our eyes up to the fact that we was bamboozled by history, and the things that we think to be true are not true. The things that we were told are being told by white people. They're not even being told by black people a lot of times. And the black people who speak on the history of these black leaders always say something differently from what the white people say. But that's if you're doing your research. When I really did my research on the Black Panthers, I came to find that the Black Panthers wasn't what I thought they was. I thought they was like this crazy, powerful group, but in reality, these niggas was rapists and convicts before they started the group. And when I read niggas' books, they was speaking on raping black women because they knew it would be easy to get away with versus raping a white woman. And that's where I really started losing a lot of respect for the black community, the Black Panthers. As far as like my community, my people, bro, we gotta do more research. And people was trying to say I don't know what I'm talking about. He's saying exactly what the fuck I already said. That this man was pretty much a puppet up until he died and he got assassinated. The reason is so much hearsay around his death and why people have so many rumors about how Martin Luther King was killed and why he was killed is because of all of the things that surround his death and his life. During the time frame of him being here and him being who he was doing what he was doing, real talk, for the government. He wasn't necessarily doing it 100% for our benefit. He was doing it because it also benefited the government. That's why he got government pushing back, and people will keep turning a blind eye to that. But the truth is, Martin Luther King got government pushing and backing. How y'all think Jesse Jackson got to where he was at? Like, it's a reason why these people ended up involved in the government at some point. Al Sharpton, these people have been involved in the government. These people were CIs and shit like that. These people have involvement to the government. Stop believing the hype. The niggas who killed Malcolm X in his documentaries, you'll see his friends say they didn't catch all the real killers. I think they only caught like one or two. It was supposed to be like 4 people all together, and they ended up freeing, I believe, one of them, because of the simple fact that it came back later on, years and decades, that he had nothing to do with the shit, and that he was forced into having to admit that he did. Um, we have to understand all of this because we keep putting all this white Jesus shit up, and it's like, dude, if Jesus was where he was at, biblically and historically, there are no people that look like that where he was at. It's the reason why they talk about his hair being rough. It's the reason why Samson has locks. A lock of hair, my nigga. Like, they gonna say a lock of hair is just, a piece of hair, but no. When we talk about locks, we talking about locks, my nigga. And it's the reason they talk about locks because locks have been around historically for forever. Braids also. But I will let y'all unpack the rest of this shit. I said what I said. I don't give a fuck about what nobody said. I agree with what he said, and I said this already. The civil rights movement fucked black people up completely, financially, educationally. Because another thing he pointed out, which I noticed with Maya Angelou's book, classes back then were homebred. They had familiarity to them. That this is my neighbor damn near teaching me. These teachers don't live in the communities no more, my nigga. These white folks don't be going to, they kids don't go to school with your kids. Like, you could be in a suburb school right now and that teacher's child is going to a whole nother private school somewhere across the country. Like, you never know, bro. And that's just a fact because they don't want their kids having the same education as what they're feeding your child. And they know that for a fact. One day I'm going to deep delve into the educational system, but as far as what he's saying, he's 1,000% correct. We no longer teaching our kids, even for the black teachers, they giving them rhetoric, just shit to go over. When you do your research on education and how they force fed a bunch of bullshit and how they trying to put a lot of LGBT shit into shit, like all of these things make a huge difference in what has already passed versus what is here today. We've never had so much BS. We ain't never had this many child shootings or school shootings during like that time frame versus post now. Like the further we go, the further we get away from God, the further we get away from what's actually right and what's actually wrong. And everybody keeps on trying to make it seem like what's wrong is what's right and trying to flip this, that, and the third. Like, nah, we gotta get back grounded as a people, and not just as black, but all people. But I'm gone.
These hoes be perfect.